wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. Piece of shit.
I was hiking, and as I normally do, I tune into Tipping the Odds Vegas podcast and the Great Ones podcast, Cynical Libertarian Society. You could just look it up with the abbreviation synlibsoc.com. Just be prepared for words that are colorful describing people who aren't white males. Just in case you were wondering, you have been warned. So I'm listening to it. And he went down to Fort Collins, and he is telling the story about how I forgot what, some kind of small business. And he was mulling over rental prices, both residential and commercial, in Fort Collins. And he was shocked to find out that a 2-bedroom in Fort Collins, very average, would go for $2,800 a month compared to his whatever, $1,500 a month in Rapid City. And then he talked to a business owner in Fort Collins and said, well, what are you paying for rent for this square footage? And she says, tee, I don't know. I talked to my husband. I don't do the number. Legit. I mean, she didn't say it that way, but my experience in banking, that's the accounting stuff. Although in Wyoming, I do remember a who dang diggly. My woman does the numbers, like legit, like, oh, she got like a 3rd grade education like you, Mr. Truck Driving Man. Anyway, she didn't know. And then one of Great One's friends who was there in tow said, well, I know that restaurant down there was in business, but they went belly up and their rent was $10,000 a month. And the gal said, and by the way, it's only like a 3,000 square foot property this lady had. She says, well, I don't know what the numbers are, but I know we're definitely paying more than $10,000 a month. And Great One rightly says, how the fuck are you staying in business? He didn't say this to her. He was yelling this into the interwebs. He says, how the hell do all these little small businesses stay in business in Fort Collins? He even invoked my name. He says, I'm no Aaron Cleary. I'm not an economist. I don't know. And what Great One should have done at that moment in time, because he has my number, he should have picked up the phone and called me and said, Cappy, how the hell do small businesses afford rent in Fort Collins, let alone any other quaint little place? And so I will answer this because this is not just specific to Fort Collins. This is universal. And it should educate my audience. Fuck the rest of the people. There's only 2 groups of people in this world. There's my audience and the assholes. That's it. That's it. And fuck the assholes. I'm going to give you guys the advice, all right? Because you guys will listen. Small businesses, Fort Collins or not, afford the rent and the expenses of the business in 4 main financial sources. First, they cash in their retirement/life savings. Okay. When you go to a restaurant, before you complain about the price of a burger, you got to understand, especially restaurants, they are subsidizing your meal. There are, hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of generally youngish men and women. You know how y'all like to make fun of those millennial burger bars? They're just totally overrated. You make fun of them, but you should be very thankful because they took whatever modicum of savings they had, not to mention their labor that they didn't get paid for, and they try to make a go at running their millennial burger bar with his fucking beard, pin hat thing. If they were to charge you enough of a price that they'd make a profit, let alone worth running that restaurant, it would be a $50 burger. They subsidize with their life savings everyone who goes into that restaurant. That's why all the restaurants fail. or most of them do anyway, because they are you should be very thankful for the average and not so average and even above average American restaurateur. They are subsidizing our dining experience. So that's one. The second, you got the bank. It's been a while since I've been in banking, but the banks will say, all right, we'll lend you the money, but we're going to take your house as collateral. Again, it's their money. So again, look at all these people. If they happen to have a house, usually that's the number one form of collateral. They will put their house on mortgage so they may continue to subsidize your purchase of a burger or whatever little horseshit trinket, small bauble, whatever it is, whatever these entrepreneurs want to run. They will then mortgage their house to get financing from the bank until they can't pay that no more and the bank repossesses it. So they are taking their life savings, they are taking in their house, they are turning it into cash and affording you a dining or shopping or bullshit experience. Third, family or friends, because family and friends are stupid and they believe blood is thicker than water and they will go and lend money or invest money to dipshit entrepreneur small business owners. Okay. So it's kind of like a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme or a multi-level marketing. Hey, I got shit product that doesn't make money. Do you want to get in on the action? And then people are like, well, okay. Especially if you got boomer parents or boomer grandparents now, they're stupid. They're so dumb. They'll actually co-sign loans for liberal arts degrees, right? Because they will lend you money and co-sign on federal loans so that you could go and major in creative writing. No joke. I've seen it happen. They're not the savviest of credit analysts. So family and friends get looped into that because, they've never seen a burger bar last more than 3 years on that piece of town. But my friend is different and it's my brother or whatever. So you get family and friends. And then the fourth, right? It's almost guaranteed you're going to see all four. Either but one or both of the spouses, if it's a spouse thing, but there's always at least one other person working a real job outside to further subsidize their joint, their small business. So they're basically making themselves a slave to you, the customer, to subsidize your shopping experience, whatever it might be. So they are cashing in their life savings. They are mortgaging their house. They're getting their friends and family looped in on it to further subsidize your experience. And then they go and work even more to keep it up. Now, at this point in time, if you're a normal person or even the great one, you're saying, well, why the fuck would they do that? And this is why I'm a little bit let down by you, great one. This is where I'm kind of let down. What made you think it was a business they were running? And here's where you learn about your average American. This is why Mark Cuban calls them entrepreneurs. Nearly all, I'd say 99.8. No, I'm kidding. 92, 93% of every aspiring American entrepreneur is not an entrepreneur. They are entrepreneurs. And preneur shouldn't even be in there, whatever the Latin base is. These are not businesses they're running. And I think you guys already know what it is. I'm going to say it is. It's a luxury consumer good. It is their dream. That's what it is. You know how, let's look at the most expensive luxury consumer goods in the United States. Okay. First is the college experience, where you go there and you borrow other people's money to make believe you're somehow intelligent or smart when you're not. You're just going into debt. The second dream, more for the girls than would be the guys, is her wedding day. It's her day. And $50,000 later, you got nothing to fucking show for it. And I would love to see the research of the study if you could find out what they spent on, like, inflation adjusted average spending on a wedding and divorce rates. I guarantee you, the more you spend on the wedding, the higher the chance of divorce. Whereas if you took that money, down payment for a house, I guarantee you those marriages last longer. Right. So earliest number one, first luxury consumer America good that you bought. It is not an investment. I'm going to say, please listen to me. I will bet my economist blood. Please listen to me. None of these things are investments. None of them. They are all luxury consumer goods. The college experience, that's not an education. I don't care what the degree. I don't care that you got a degree. You don't get your money back on that. You are paying for the experience. No different than going to Disneyland, except it's 4 years and you learn Marxist horse shit. That's it. And then your ball sack or boob sack is fluffed into you thinking you're intelligent because you got a 4.0 in political science. I mean, you want to talk about you get a participation trophy at the end, right? Carlson School of Management. There's your participation trophy. And that's accounting. And that's an actual degree. Holy shit. I might actually be able to use this. But 85% of the time, you guys are just issued a participation trophy, right? And then it's over. Then you got to pay it back. Then there's the wedding. That's a consumer good, luxury consumption, right? This isn't an investment. This isn't a fixed asset where there's a tangible asset at the end of it, right? Even like a car, right? You could sell a car, depreciate so we can drive it off the lot, but at least there's some residual value. No, wedding, there's no value. Pictures in memory. You could have had that. You could have had that without $50,000. But, don't let me get in the way of your day, ladies. Don't let me interrupt my Marxist leftist enemies when they're making a mistake. Yeah, you get $200,000 debt for your joke law degree and your undergrad degree. What's another 50 grand on top of it? You're going to vote Democrat anyway, take more of my money. Why should I stop? Yeah, you know what? You only got one of your day, right? Oh, wait, no, 3 times you get married. Oh, okay. Well, the first of your day anyway. Drop it, make it 100, right? You only do this once, this decade anyway. Consumption good, luxury bullshit consumption good. And then you could see it. You could just see it like in that schmaltzy with the little curly fucking mustache you hipster douche canoes had. We're going to start, me and my girlfriend going to start a business. Me and my wife going to start a business. We're going to grow organic chickens. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. The bobble shop, the restaurant, that's the stereotypical one. Consignment store. I saw it all in banking. I got all these stupid fucking loan applications from low IQ fuckwits. But back then it was Gen X fuckwits and boomer fuckwits. It just happens to be the younger generation's turn now to follow my dreams. That's their dream. This is not a serious business endeavor. This is not an investment. This is a luxury good. This is a luxury consumption good. Consumption means you consume it and it's gone. Like an ice cream cone, you eat it. An Xbox, that is a luxury, maybe not luxury, but it's an unnecessary luxury good. It's not a consumptive good. It's a regular good. It sticks around after a while. But once you play make-believe American dream, it's been my dream to run a coffee shop. And you guys want to play banker? Hey, you guys want to play banker? You could play banker at home, okay? Or credit analyst. Bankers are small penis, low IQ fuckwits who need to be put in an area with a fence and have me be in charge of it. That's where bankers need to go. Where I'd give them hugs. It'd just be banker hugging camp. Just, I love you bankers so much. Let's go for a hike. One way. You can play credit analyst at home. All you got to do is go to whatever little rink-a-dink store, mall, strip mall area. Preferably a quaint little town like Fort Collins, like where there's an old actual town. Suburbs may have taken over, but there's a central town. And just go in there every year, man. Every year. Just drive down, note which restaurants and businesses and things and coffee shops are there. And then the next year, drive down there again. Say, okay, how many are gone? At least 20%. At least, depending on how good or bad the economy is doing. In the White Bear Lake, in the WBL. Oh, God. Once every 3 months. Christie's Coffee Shops, Betsy's Bobbles, Billy's Bongs. In our business. And they financed it with their own money, sweat, and hard labor. And I think a lot of times that's the first time they realize that, oh, yeah, this is serious shit. Because you come out of it, you're wiped. You ain't got no house. You ain't got no equity. You got to move because the bank repossesses. You owe your family and friends money and you got no savings. You blew it all on your fucking dream because you thought it'd be easy running a business. There was Dave Ramsey, God bless him. I remember he was in Restaurant Turnaround, wherever show he had, or Hotel Turnaround. He says, "Why'd you get into running a restaurant?" And the guy says, "Because I thought it'd be fun and easy." He said, "You thought this would be fun and easy? Because Americans don't have to work. Work is for Chinese people to solder electronics. We're Americans. I'm going to buy I'm really good at, I remember this girl couple, really good at finding deals. We want to create a consignment shop." And Cappy was pretty dark side by this time. And I just said, "Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Good luck to you." I didn't say anything. Why, I stop them. But yeah, that's why, because it's not a business. They're not running a business. They don't, right? She said it herself. "I didn't take it. I didn't do the numbers." They're not serious about running a business. Numbers are the number one thing. That's why you go into business, is to make a living. And man, you'd see him come in just dopey eyed, like not there. Like, "Hey, you got some pro formas?" "What's a pro forma?" "Forecasted financial statements." "Oh, I don't know." I remember one guy literally on a sheet of paper, just like it almost like he used his fist, was a pen. "Revenues, expenses, profits." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here. The fuck out of here." And then my boss, "Well, hold on now, Aaron. I wonder why that branch is shut down, you dumbass Wyoming banker fuckwits." Yeah, there's a time you could have gotten, you could have lent, you could have gotten money from these small little community banks because they're so stupid. And no joke, you probably could have embezzled it and got away because there was like no auditing, no serious analysis. "Well, I don't know money. I didn't save the receipts." "Oh, you did just doing it the Wyoming way. You didn't save receipts. Huh? You take this. You got a pet dog. You want that for collateral?" Shink, shink, tuck, 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 tuck. Let's go for a hike. Yeah, there. That's how small businesses afford rent. And I guarantee you, great one, when you go to Fort Collins for your annual pilgrimage, there will be a whole bunch of other restaurants that things that went out of business. And then the new ones will pop up because Americans are stupid. They actually believe the horse shit their parents and their teachers and the television told them. "You're great and amazing, and you can run a business. That's the American way." And you, as a consumer, should be very thankful, especially the restaurant industry. You should be eternally thankful restaurants run at a loss. People enslave themselves both in the past and the present to give you a subsidized $32 burger that would normally cost 43. You should be thanking them. Link below if you don't believe me. I have a book called Behind the Housing Crash. It's the first book I ever wrote. It predicts, it was being written before the housing bubble burst. That's how good I am. Got published, I believe, the day Lehman Brothers went belly up. If you'd like to see what it's like, there you go. You want to see what dude bros are like. You want to see what rich people really look like? Well, they're poor. And it's still the same today. They drive German automobiles. They imported German automobiles. And they think they're badasses. And then all of a sudden, they don't have the German automobile. There's a great thing about these fake rich people. They just disappear, right? You'll see them out and about doing the thing and, regular member of this bar or that community. And they got that card, really. And then just one day, they stop showing up. I'm sure if you went and looked up bankruptcy records, you'd find them. And whether they're staying at home in shame or they move out of state. Make it doc, $2. Everything signals a depression, even Sowell says. Really? A depression? Okay, I trust Thomas Sowell more than anyone else. You know why that's good? It's good for us, baby, because prices are coming down. Prices are going to come down, man. That'd be good for you young people, right? What's funny, I get a kid, but people are going to get laid off. It's like you weren't paying them or hiring them anyway. Oh no, like you're threatening people that you never gave jobs, let alone adequately paying jobs to. They're all living at home. They're as inoculated and taken up as much of a defensive position against the depression as they could. I mean, Mr. Tiddlywinks NBA dude, bro, with all of his mortgages and car loans, making happy wife, happy life in the suburbs. You fuckers got to look out. But not young people don't have kids and don't have car loan debts and living at home. Ooh, good times, man. Good times. Maybe hotel prices will finally come down where I could go out and get a decent rate of a hotel. All right. That's it. See you guys later. Toodles.